an iPulse news special Middle East crisis. I'm Lisette. Our broadcast begins tonight with a report on what most experts believe was the match that ignited the current Middle East crisis, an attack by the radical terrorist group Hamas.
And I'm Jalen Liu. We learned about the attack after terrorists killed and kidnapped concertgoers attending a music festival 2 weeks ago near the Israel-Gaza border. CNN's Anderson Cooper describes the scene. Some of the scenes may be graphic, but we think it is important that you see it.
The music was playing, the dance floor packed, when the rockets began. Just 3.3 miles from the border with Gaza, it didn't take long before Hamas gunmen arrived. Some partygoers were able to get to their cars, but many were killed before they could get away.
They were waiting here with a machine gun.
Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, a soldier all his life, has never seen anything like it.
This is a massacre scene. I don't have any other recall of memory in the history of Israel since it was established of this kind of event.
The bodies and body parts of the dead have been removed, but people's possessions are strewn all around. The carnage is clear: burned out cars, bullet holes, bloodstains on seats. From some cars, the IDF has retrieved dashcam videos that show Hamas gunmen roaming the site for hours, shooting freely. This one shows a bloodied hostage being led away. Then under the car you can see another man hiding. He moves slightly, then stops. A gunman runs right up to him and shoots him point blank in the head or upper body.
I don't know how people can explain this. I don't have the words to explain it. And then running away on motorcycles with girls to Gaza?
Fleeing east across open fields was the only way out for many, but they were easy targets. Others sought safety in nearby bomb shelters. This is dashcam video of a Hamas gunman tossing a grenade into a shelter. When a man runs out trying to escape, they fire on him repeatedly. In another shelter a few miles north of the festival site, about 30 people tried to hide. A man named Noam Cohen recorded inside. You can hear the panic in their voices, asking what's going on. Are there Israeli soldiers nearby? We aren't going to show you what happened next. Cohen says Hamas gunmen repeatedly tossed grenades into the shelter. People inside were blown apart. It's one of the most gruesome videos we've ever seen. This is some of the aftermath. Noam Cohen survived hiding under body parts. That's him, terrified, but alive. We found the shelter in the town of Alamein yesterday evening. Someone had put a curtain up over the doorway, but nothing could hide the smell as you enter. My cameraman, Neil Halsworth, who's experienced a lot of war, began to retch and had to step outside. There's bloody handprints on the wall. There's blood smeared on the walls. See, probably these are either bullet holes or from the grenades that were thrown in here. Body parts have already been collected from here, but blood-soaked clothes and shoes remain. This looks to be a bloody handprint. This shelter is no more than 15 feet long, maybe 5.5, 6 feet wide. The idea of so many people packed in here, standing shoulder to shoulder, terrified, screaming, it's incredible that anybody was able to survive. There are other shelters like this, other tragedies still to be discovered. The full horror of what happened here is just starting to come to light.
That was CNN's Anderson Cooper. The Israeli Defense Force has found other bodies in nearby villages. Some residents who were kidnapped are being held hostage in Gaza. In response, Israel has declared war on Hamas, launching rockets into the Gaza territory. Israeli troops are also amassed on the border, preparing for a ground invasion. Nick Robertson reports.
Close to Gaza, preparations underway for a much anticipated ground offensive. Troops from different units training together. There is an urgency here. They have to be ready fast.
Right now, this is a rehearsal. If and when there's an incursion, these troops could be at the front of it. Tanks, or for this practice, model ones right now, followed by infantry and combat engineers. A combined force spearheading an incursion.
If they do, Major Ofek will be near the front.
We expect to go to war. We expect to destroy the terrorist organization Hamas, kill its government, and kill every last terrorist. That's what we plan to do, and that's how it will be.
The last time the IDF went into Gaza targeting Hamas's leaders was 2014. Ariel Bernstein was 21 in the Special Forces, one of the first to cross the border.
You're just afraid that there is something waiting for you at every corner.
But his experiences then have left him questioning the tactics today. Back then, he says, the IDF warned civilians to leave and Hamas told them to stay, just as is happening now. But some had stayed. His orders, he says, assume the civilians had left.
So whoever you see is basically engaged in fighting or is involved in fighting, and therefore we call it engaging with fire with any home you enter, with any kind of shape of a person that you see from afar.
In many ways, Israel's actions are playing out just as they have in the past. 2021 gun positions freshly dug, back in use. And in Gaza, the civilian death toll, according to Palestinian health officials, already higher than in 2014. And like then, Israel is already facing huge international pressure to avoid more civilian casualties.
What we are doing is saying privately what we've said publicly, which is that all military operations should be conducted consistent with law of war, that civilians should be protected.
The problem the IDF says it faces, just like 2014, Hamas will be hiding among civilians.
The whole situation we're talking about with Gazan civilians forcibly embedded is another element of Hamas. Hamas has to be fully defeated.
So the responsibility is on them and not you?
The responsibility is on Hamas for their own civilians. Our responsibility is to eliminate Hamas's capabilities completely.
Major Ofek, pausing during training in a mocked-up Palestinian town, says they don't hurt innocents, only terrorists, but admits if he is sent into Gaza, avoiding civilian deaths won't be easy.
Do you think it's possible, though, to fight Hamas without civilians getting injured?
We're concerned with overthrowing the Hamas regime and killing the terrorists who are currently in Gaza. If it will be difficult, it will be difficult, not easy.
Outside the camp gates, as Israel's military ponder their next move, troops are saying their fond farewells. Nick Robertson, CNN, Southern Israel.
As Israeli troops wait, the rocket war from the air continues, and so do the number of innocent victims. Some 3,000 Palestinians are said to have been killed. But what has caused international outrage was when Gaza officials reported hundreds of innocents had been killed in an attack on a Gaza hospital, and they blamed it on Israel. Sam Kiley reports.
A blast of immediate strategic impact. Jordan cancelled a summit with the US, Egypt and the Palestinian Authority as news of mass casualty in Gaza emerged. Now, with the Hamas-controlled Gaza's health ministry saying the death toll is over 470 from an explosion in the courtyard of this church-run hospital, there are protests around the world. And in this war, the truth is unlikely to emerge quickly. The US, based on its own analysis of the evidence, including secret intelligence, has supported Israel's version of events.
Based on the information we've seen to date, it appears the result of an errant rocket fired by a terrorist group in Gaza.
Israel blames Hamas and the Islamic Jihad, a rival Islamist militant group. Islamic Jihad, Hamas and other Palestinian groups say Israel did it. CNN has geolocated videos and stills from the scene and shown all the available authentic evidence to two weapons experts. They agree that the explosion is likely not caused by an airdrop bomb or even a guided missile.
I would initially rule out a heavy airdrop bomb. The type of crater that I've seen on the imagery so far isn't large enough to be the type of bomb that we've seen dropped in the region on many occasions.
Could it have been a Hellfire type missile? A guided munition?
Hellfire, I'm doubtful about.
Preliminary CNN analysis of the crater suggests that the projectile hit the courtyard outside the hospital from somewhere to the southwest. The Israel Defense Forces say they believe the disaster was caused by the misfire of a missile fired from the southwest of the hospital.
Could this have been a rocket fired from Gazan territory that went wrong?
It could very well have been a rocket fired from Gazan territory. But again, we'll only know that when the remnants are definitively identified and compared to other types of weapon systems or munitions that are being fired in the area.
A senior UN weapons expert who asked to remain anonymous agreed. But in Gaza, many blame Israel and its allies.
People who fled considered the hospital as a safe shelter for them. They didn't find any other place to go, but they struck people with those Israeli and American rockets. This is a war crime. It's a big crime killing children and women.
An independent investigation would need to be done on the ground to determine the cause of the blast, which is impossible under the current Israeli bombardment and unlikely under Hamas.
You've worked in Gaza before, Chris. Have you investigated rocket misfires in the past?
Yes, I've tried to investigate rocket misfires in the past, most certainly. But on the few occasions this has happened, the local authorities did not give me free access to the area, or were very unhappy that I was trying to investigate something that had clearly gone wrong from their point of view.
Amid the ongoing bloodshed, entrenched supporters of either side are more likely to believe what they want now, regardless. Sam Kiley, CNN.
Israel has subsequently released hard evidence that it was not involved, which was confirmed just last night by President Biden. But the war of words and the death toll continues to rise. Our thoughts and prayers go to the many innocent victims in this war. We turn now to local news.
In Lynn sports, the Fighting Knights men's soccer team has been on a roll so far this season. They started out winning 4 games and continued their streak in their home opener. Sports editor Clifton Haskin reports from Bobby Campbell Stadium.
Bobby Campbell Stadium is where the Fighting Knights men's soccer team is taking on the Florida Tech Panthers. So far, the Fighting Knights soccer team has been 5-0-2 to start their season.
The Fighting Knights in their home white were off to a rough start in the first half. The Florida Tech Panthers got a number of opportunities, but nothing too dangerous for Lynn's goalkeeper. The Fighting Knights tried to fight their way back by drawing a series of penalties, but still finished the first half scoreless. Things began to heat up in the second half as Patrick O'Halloran was given a yellow card early on. Lynn responded by scoring the first goal of the game with the ball just barely crossing the line to count. Moments later, goalkeeper Lucas Calvaro came up huge for the Knights by making 2 saves on a penalty shot. Patrick O'Halloran redeemed himself by scoring this beautiful goal to win the game 2-0.
Probably the best win of the season, probably the best win since I've been here at Lynn. Unbelievable feeling. Obviously top 3 in the country. We put a massive shift in tonight, so just buzzing. I know the lads, everyone was so excited for this game, so to get a win's amazing. Yeah. Obviously, I just hope it's a long season. I hope it's long, and that's what excites me. If we carry on playing, and then hopefully we can get more wins like this tonight. So.
The Fighting Knights men's soccer team will remain undefeated after taking down the Florida Tech Panthers and are looking forward to their next home game against Rollins University. From Bobby Campbell Stadium, I'm Clifton Haskin, iPulse TV News.
Sadly, Lynn lost the game to Rollins. In other sports news, the men's lacrosse team took on their first opponent, Kaiser University, in a scrimmage last Saturday after an unexpected loss to Kaiser last year. This was the Knights' opportunity for redemption. Their hopes were realized with a final score of 19-9. Tim Frolick reports.
The men's lacrosse team took on their first opponent, Kaiser University, in a scrimmage on Saturday, October 14th. After an unexpected loss to Kaiser last year, the Knights saw this game as a chance at redemption.
Important. So this game against Kaiser was important because of last year in the spring we ended up losing to them, and it kind of set the tone for the season. We were kind of depressed, so coming out there and beating them felt really good, and I think we're going to have a good year.
Coming away with an early lead in the first quarter, the Knights used this momentum to dominate Kaiser for the rest of the game, ending with a final score of 19-9.
I think we played pretty well. There's obviously some stuff we can work on, but that's the point of a scrimmage, is to work out and get the kinks out and see what you need to work on and see what you actually did well and what you didn't do well.
With the first win of their season under their belts, the men's lacrosse team is hopeful for their upcoming season in the spring.
I think it just got everyone really excited. I mean, we were flying around out there. The offense looked great. We put in a lot of goals. Defense had some big stops, and I think it just got everyone really excited because it kind of showed like what this team could really be for the upcoming season.
I'm Tim Frolick from iPulse.
This past month, the vibrant spirit of cultural celebration permeated the Lynn campus as the student organization Latinos Unidos commemorated the rich tapestry of Hispanic heritage. I was there for Lynn's celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Hispanic Heritage Month is a celebration of Hispanic culture that takes place from September 15th to October 15th. This month is all about celebrating cultures and histories for Hispanic and American citizens to learn more about their ancestors who came from South America, Central America, Spain, the Caribbean, and Mexico. This event was filled with food, music, dancing, and trivia. The Center of Student Involvement teamed up with Latinos Unidos, a club dedicated to learning and celebrating Latino culture, to make this event happen. I had the chance to speak with Ariana Rodriguez, the president of the club and originally from Puerto Rico. Once she got her food running as president, she wanted to be able to showcase all cultures. She shares what she loves and appreciates about her culture.
Oh my God, everything. I mean, if you can't see it, dressed from head to toe, but Puerto Rico's in my heart and soul, it's in my lungs, it's in my blood, it's everything. So I appreciate everything.
Nayeli Ramirez is another student who is in the e-board for Latinos Unidos and was born in Cuba. She helped set up the event in hopes of students coming out to learn and enjoy the different cultures. Nayeli shares what she appreciates about her culture in this event.
I think mainly our culture, like we have some of the food from my country here, and we have some of the artists representing our country, so it's a lot of fun to just know that we are represented and that we have people here for it.
Jose Galindo was a student attending the event who was raised in Chile. He misses home, food, and his family. Jose shares why this event was important to him.
I think this event is important to me because, you know, it has a taste of home, and not just for me, but for the people who've also been far from home. They get a little bit of food from their country, and it's also a nice moment to share with anyone, regardless of where they're from.
I'm Gretchen Lenke-Peña with iPulse News.
When it comes to your future, do you think about what you can do to improve your chances of success? Do you know where to go? To find out about internships and job opportunities? Well, Lynn University has a place you can go to get help. Swanson Gibson Jr. reports.
There are several offices that make Lynn University thrive. On Wednesday, October 11th, iPulse sat down with Career and Alumni Connections. This department is responsible for equipping Lynn students with the skills of a high-level professional and securing employment from household brands across the United States. Internship and Employment Coordinator Samantha Gallo spoke explicitly about the role of this office.
So we are the office where students can come whether they need help finding an internship, job after graduation, resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profiles, mock interviews, so anything career related, we're the office that can help out with that.
Gallo further discussed the myriad of resources for students, the most effective being Handshake. She also highlighted the success of past career fairs and an upcoming one.
We offer Handshake, which is our job board, so internships, jobs, part-time, that's all going to be on Handshake. Career Shift is another site that we pay for the students to use. It's like LinkedIn on steroids, so you can find anyone's contact information on Career Shift. It's my favorite resource that we offer for the students. Yeah, we actually have an internship fair on Wednesday, so a week from today. And all the students that I've worked with that I recommend to go to the fairs, they always come back. They have their resume done, they're dressed professionally, they come back landing an internship or job. So there's a highly success rate for students that come. Meeting face to face, is always great, especially meeting someone and then them recognizing you the next years prior. So we have a lot of success for students at the fairs.
Assistant Director of Internships and Employment Jessica Waits deciphered the two main branches of the office.
So we are the Career and Alumni Connections Department. While you're here, you'll most likely deal with the career side. When you're here, you can come to us for internship and job searching, resume help, cover letter help, LinkedIn help, everything like that. After you graduate, we're also the alumni office. So we're the same people you chat to once you're out the door, doing cool things in your career and you want to talk about it. Wanting to get connected with other alums either in your area or local in Boca, we're the office here for you for that as well.
I'm Swanson Gibson Jr. for iPulse.
The buzz in academic circles this year is artificial intelligence and its impact on students. How do professors know who created the work they are given? Delaney Smith talked to Lynn students about this new tool to find what they think.
Artificial intelligence is taking the world by storm. This new technology tool is widely used by students all over the world. Having easy access to artificial intelligence has many mixed feelings by Lynn University students.
I have used AI because my teacher was like, I want you to write a paper using AI, and she taught us how to prompt it. That was the first time I had ever used AI.
Some people are concerned that AI will create a lack of human creativity and empathy, along with drawbacks that include job displacements and skill loss.
I think, like I said, I think it generates good ideas for people to kind of get going off of, but it's just the people that take advantage of it and turn it into not a good idea. But I think it's eventually going to make Americans so much lazier. I don't think that it's overall a good idea.
Others say it made them feel bad about themselves.
I just felt I felt guilty and why are you using it? I really don't like artificial intelligence because it feels like cheating.
While some feel AI has concerning cons, others are using it to their advantage to correct human error, handle large amount of data easily, generate faster decision-making, and improve processes and workflows in the working field.
I view artificial intelligence as helpful because it can help people understand things better as long as they're using it appropriately.
It is comprehensible that artificial intelligence has many feelings surrounding its operations. There is excitement, optimism, and hope for the new technology, while still bringing about concerns and uneasiness about its unknown future. I'm Delaney Smith for iPulse.
The snowbirds are coming back to South Florida. They migrate from the north to avoid the cold days of winter. And when they return, things get quiet all over again. The hotel industry dries up, and it is harder to find work, especially for seasonal workers. Kevin King looks back at how hotel workers put up with the barren times.
A study indicates September is the month with least travel to Florida. However, come October, many flock down to the state from other parts of the country in order to take advantage of the warm weather. I visited a business that thrives off of seasonal work to get their views on the topic.
Hi, my name is Michael. I work at the Seagate Valet here in Delray Beach, Florida. And we are a job that is heavily affected during season with snowbirds. The months of April, May, June, July, August, and September, they could get really slow here where we substantially make a lot less money than we do. We're mainly a tip-based job here. Our hourly pay is not all that much.
According to Merriam-Webster, the term snowbird was first used to describe men who enlisted in the armed forces to get food and clothing during winter months, and then deserted as the warm spring weather approached. Today, the term is used to describe those, often retired, who stay seasonally in a warm part of the country.
September is definitely one of our slowest months, mainly because we're a member-only club that has a lot of snowbirds from up north, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. A lot of people only come down during like the winter months when they can enjoy it down here and they can't enjoy it up there because it's snowing.
According to FloridaRealtyMarketplace.com, snowbird season in 2019, visitors were estimated to have contributed over $95 billion to Florida's economy. In turn, they support over 1.6 million seasonal jobs in the state.
We have a program for a lot of people who are less fortunate. We offer them jobs here, and they also are able to stay at the hotel that we have here.
And there's an additional problem for Florida in the off-season. Many people who do come can't find a place to rent because owners prefer to leave their residences empty.
I would say the major downside is it really affects the housing. During the summer, you look and see and there's no lights on when you drive down A1A. You can't find anything. All the condos are empty, the storm shelters are up, and it's really just bad for the economy and for people to find housing.
From Palm Beach County, I'm Kevin King with iPulse.
Coffee has become a social catalyst, and the coffee shop has become the place to socialize, study, or even conduct business. It's been called the coffee culture. But why do college students like the coffee culture so much? Eleanor Bruce investigates.
It is no secret that the majority of college students are a little obsessed with caffeine.
I'm not really aware of how much caffeine I actually drink. I don't know how much caffeine is in each coffee cup that I have.
Coffee was originally just consumed for its caffeine content, for the purpose of an energy boost. But in our culture today, drinking coffee is a growing trend, and it is not just college students on the coffee craze.
I am aware of how much caffeine I drink a day. I drink 3 cups of caffeinated coffee and 1 to 2 cups of decaf.
On like day-to-day basis, I'm not a big coffee drinker. On the days that I do, have a drink with like caffeine or have a cup of coffee, like I definitely feel that like energy that it gives you, the jitters.
Caffeine can be addictive, and many people experience withdrawal symptoms when trying to limit their caffeine intake. This can include headaches and feeling very lethargic. There are studies that say caffeine can have the placebo effect and not actually give a strong boost of energy after an individual has consumed it for a while.
I don't really feel the effects of coffee like some. I don't really feel energized and bouncing all over the place after I've had a cup, but the first 2 cups of coffee that I have first thing in the morning certainly set me up for the rest of the day.
Coffee shops are a popular place for students to study. The coffee culture as a whole is growing with different ways to make it and seasonal drinks.
I think if everyone else is doing work around you, it would motivate you to do work, and obviously the coffee as well. I think people put studying and coffee together, and I guess the placebo of coffee making you more motivated, making you more focused on your work, appeals to people.
When I was in school, there's coffee shops all around, so yeah, definitely just to kind of like get out of your room environment, going to coffee shops I think is a great thing. I did it myself, even though I don't like coffee that much, but they have other options.
I do believe that for some people, working from a coffee shop is good for their mental health, makes them feel less isolated than if they were working from home.
A Starbucks coffee is around $5 upward, which adds to be about $35 per week for a daily coffee. That is almost $2,000 per year.
The prices at the coffee shops for like coffee, in my opinion, I do think are overpriced. I just think for, what you're getting, should it be $5-6 for a cup of coffee? That's a little crazy in my opinion.
I think in the large commercial coffee shop chains, yes. Service stations, yes, they really rip you off, I think. These small privately owned coffee shops that have great coffee, great atmosphere, they are the ones I'm more likely to support.
Coffee is popular among all generations. It is a comfort drink, it gives you energy, and it is tasty, although students' budgets might suffer. I'm Eleanor Bruce for iPulse.
A footnote. iPulse will continue to cover the Middle East crisis in the weeks to come. And that's iPulse News for this week. I'm Lisette.
And I am Jalen Alou. To find out more about these stories, search for iPulse in Apple's News app.